we've never like officially been introduced, which is
Nice to meet you now.
He's going to go first, so Michael, you have 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Michael Redeker, and I'm running for the position of your services vice president. I'm a sophomore economics major who comes from E-Town, Kentucky, loving football, country music, and good home cooking. My parents now live in Tennessee, so on-campus services are vital in my everyday life. I no longer have a family doctor, so I rely on campus health services. I live at the Province, and I walk across that bridge daily to come to class, to get some Wendy's, and even to play some ping pong in the SAC game room. However, as a student, I have also had a great opportunity to be involved in these services that affect us all. Over this past year, I've been blessed to work with an administration that has made the students their #1 priority. If elected services vice president, I would continue to work with the same diligence that I have this past year to uphold the voice of the students and to fight on their behalf for their health, safety, and opinions.
Serena, you have 2 minutes.
great, thanks. Can everybody hear me okay? I know that. Thanks, that's all. Well, first of all, thanks everybody for coming. I know the weather is kind of icky outside, but I'm glad that you all are here. I'm Serena, and I'm a junior political science and communication major, and I'm from Bowes, Kentucky, which is in far western Kentucky, and I'm really, really excited to be here tonight, as well as be running with the team of Card Vision. I couldn't ask for a better group of leaders and students to be working with, so during my time outside of SGA, I've seen a really different perspective on sort of student government as a whole. And my sophomore year, I worked as the assistant to the services vice president, and since then, I've really seen a lot of the improvements I would like to make coming into this office. And I think that what it really comes down to is the little things that are gonna be really what students want to see and are really gonna get the most out of. And then once we start accomplishing little things like more outlets in the library or getting more than one friend swipe at Westside, that relationship between SGA and the students really starts to improve, and that's when we can go on to these really big projects and a lot of looking towards the future and big ideas and innovations. And so I look forward to sharing a lot of my goals and platforms with you this evening, and again, thanks for coming out.
All right, Serena's first question will be directed at you. You have some time to finish, and then Michael will divide and have a good conversation. Serena, what do you see as the most pressing issue currently in UofL services?
Great. Okay. Thanks, Brittany. I think that something that's really pressing in terms of services is a lot of times the meal plan. I think that that's something that students interact with every single day, multiple times a day, and that's whether you're a commuter or you live in Miller or you live in Betty or you live at the Province. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest issues that is currently facing services. And I have a lot of ideas in terms of working towards that. And I think a lot of it starts with just making really realistic goals and then having follow through with that. And so some of the things that I would like to see coming from dining are, I know in the 2020 plan it notes, I think it's in 2014, that we want to be able to use our meal plan off campus. And I've actually had some conversations with Austin, who's an RA at Cardtown, and they've already been in the process of sort of working towards getting Cardtown on the meal plan. And I think that is something that students really want to see, and that's something that I would love to work towards. I think that I have sort of some plans in terms of that, of businesses sort of buying into the meal plan, because I know one of Sodexo's issues is that they kind of don't benefit a lot with having an off-campus meal plan. So businesses would essentially buy in with Sodexo, and then not only are they getting an increase in business towards their restaurant or snack place or something like that, but Sodexo is still benefiting, and students most importantly are benefiting as well. So I think that's really a big issue facing services.
I agree. The meal plan is very important to the students. It is something that they use every day. But I also believe that there are a lot of other pressing issues that the services office deals with rather than just the meal plan. For example, something that I believe is the most pressing issue is campus health and safety. It is the #1 priority for our students. First off, campus health, I think one of the important things I would like to do as services vice president is get the counseling center accredited. With this, we can bring in more doctors. We can actually be able to treat students with mental health issues, with any kind of problems that they have. Rather than just counseling them on how to cope with it, we can really help them to get better.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I think that campus health is something that has seen a lot of development in the past couple of years, and so that definitely still is on the forefront of a lot of students' minds, and so I think that that's definitely relevant.
All right. Next question. One of the major duties you have to serve as a representative as the staff senate. What do you bring to this role, and how do you think you can best represent the student voice in this role? Michael, you can begin.
I believe as an everyday student, a commuter student, I eat in the SAC. I know what real students need to see changed in the university. And on the opposite of that, I'm also very comfortable working with the administration, but not being a pushover. I'm not going to let a bunch of the administrators tell me, you can't do this, you can't do that. I will fight for the student rights, and I firmly believe in doing what's right by the students, not what's right by the administrators.
I agree. I think I've had a lot of experience on campus dealing with students. I've served in a lot of mentor capacities on campus, from orientation staff to first year guide to reach ambassador. And so in terms of interacting with students, I easily do that on a daily basis. And so I think that it's a really open communication between myself and students. And so I definitely would say I have a good gauge on what they want represented. And Michael really touched on the importance of the administration as well. And I completely agree. So much of SGA, especially in top four and then dealing with Senate, is dealing with the administration. And also I had a really great opportunity with John to meet a lot of the administration that are involved with services. Just today, Larry Owsley and I had a conversation in the SAC. And so it's just, I think, in terms of just being really flexible and fluid in terms of your relationships, knowing when to be professional and when to stand up, and also really knowing when to be that listening ear to hear exactly what students want to change with the university.
I would actually agree with Serena. The relationships that I've developed with some of the administration in campus health, in safety, the police department, they are wonderful people to work with. And some of the relationships I've developed with them, I know I could go to them for anything if I need it done on the university, and they really care about us, and I think I would be able to work with them very well.
You both had experience with working in services as assistants at some point in your life. How do you think that experience would come from being in the assistant role to the SVP to actually being the SVP?
Again, I had a really, really great relationship whenever John was president with a lot of the administration. He was really great about letting me go to meetings and letting me start initiatives and a lot of those things. And I would just really want to see the follow-up and sort of tying up loose ends with a lot of different projects. One of the things I think really ties into some things I want to do now too is we did a lighting survey during my time as Assistant Services Vice President, and I think that really ties in with a lot of things. So we pull back into safety and sustainability as well. I don't know if you guys noticed the lights right outside Humanities, but they're like a sustainable LED type light, and something just as little as following up and saying we need to go ahead and get the rest of the campus on this plan, something that's going to impact multiple different areas of services, and just going back through these things, making those connections again, and just finishing up anything that I wanted to do during that time, and then just again follow through. And I would be more than excited as well to follow up on any ideas that Kara and Michael have been working on as well, and I would love to have that opportunity.
I believe that I have a slight advantage in the fact that I am the most current Assistant Services Vice President. I know what's going on in the university right now. I know what students need right now. Just today, me and Kara checked something off our list. We're still making progress. We are working hard for the students, and I believe I'll be able to transition into that and continue working on the things, these loose ends, as she says. We're tying them up now. So there won't be as many loose ends. I'll be able to move on to projects, more and more projects to help the students and continue in that capacity.
All right. Now we're doing some student questions.
Brandon, do I get to follow up with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I would love to have the opportunity right now, like Michael has, to begin a lot of the innovations that he wants to do in the future. And I think that he has a great opportunity to do that now, and I would love to see that happen. But I also don't think it's going to be difficult at all to transition back. Again, I still have those relationships that I was mentioning earlier after working with John. And we saw a lot of growth and development during the time in which I did work in that office. And so whether that be the improvements with Westside now the Ville Grill, naming the Ville Grill, getting more swipes for students, getting the friend swipes, different things with sustainability, like all these projects that we did accomplish, just building on them. Not necessarily any loose ends, but just following up on them.
All right, now we're going to get into a time with some students who get a question. I've got a list here in front of me. I'm just going to kind of pick and choose from it. First question would be for Michael first. What role do you see yourself playing in services on other campuses, such as the health science campus?
I've actually been able this year to make some great connections with the campus health committee, and I think I've been able to develop relationships with not only administrators on this campus, but also on other campuses like the health sciences campus. And I know for a fact that they want us to get more involved on their campus. They don't want to be pushed away as another campus, another school. They want to be a part of UofL just as much as we do. And I believe I have those relationships to be able to get them involved and be able to see what they need for us to do for them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the integration of our other campuses is really key in terms of student government because we are representing everyone. One of my good friends is in nursing school, and just the other day she was telling me about how great a pedway would be, or just like a crosswalk for downtown. And so I think a lot of it is just really, again, remaining open in communication with the students that are down there. They're our friends. We have classes with them even if we might not realize it. And so just really seeking out those opportunities. And again, I really look forward to the opportunity, if elected to this position as well, to learn and to grow. I think that that's really key of any leader is being able to not only contribute, but also to gain something from a position. And I think that's an area which I really can learn a lot as well as contribute.
Do you all have any specific ideas? I guess Serena, you stated on some headway at some other campus. Michael, do you have any specific initiatives maybe
For
HSC? Do you have any specific initiatives that you would do down at HSC that you see are needed or required?
Can I make a comment?
Okay.
Oh, I think that dining also on the downtown campus is something that's really big because they have really limited opportunities in terms of that. And so I think that that's something else I would really like to work on within this department.
I guess this is a question for Mike, and then I'll ask the question back to Serena. Mike, why do you see yourself as more qualified than Serena?
Well, I believe I'm more qualified in not only the fact that I'm the most current assistant services vice president, because that kind of puts us on an even playing field. We know what we'd be getting into if we were elected to this position. We know what to expect. We know who we're going to be working with. But I believe that I would be able to work more with the students as to their current needs. And it's not about knowing the administrators. It's not about, oh, you remember me? I was here a few years ago. It's about coming into these positions, seeing the students, knowing what they need, and working with them, not just the administrators. And I believe I can do that.
I actually might disagree with Michael a little bit on this position. I think the administration and a good relationship with administration is key because they're the ones with the money and they're the ones that are really going to have the power to get stuff done. And so I think that our level of professionalism is something that I really bring to the table with this. I've worked with administration in the past, not only with services role, but other leadership on campus. And so I think that that's really huge with this position is interacting with the administration. I can count, like, there were countless meetings where John and I would be with Larry Owsley, and he would literally make a phone call and get something done. That happened with the TARC routes from the stadium from campus to the stadium. We literally were sitting in a meeting, calls up the director of TARC, and we got it done. And so I think that in terms of the immediate results that we'd like to see from student government, coordination and professionalism with the administration is really, really, really key. And in terms of addressing that, I mean, he is more current than me, and a lot of the projects that they've done are really great, but you also have to look at the projects that we did that were still really, really successful. And so I think that I still know that process, and I mean, we have proof that what we did was good and that it really did impact students, and that students really took a lot from it. So.
Serena brings up a good point about professionalism, and she states it as though I don't have any, but I would surely disagree. Last summer, when Kara first gained the position of services vice president, she went away to Spain to study abroad. And as she was gone, I had to step up and take the position of services vice president and fulfill those roles. I was in meetings almost every day. I was always on campus, and I was kind of thrown into situations where maybe I wasn't fully prepared to meet with administrators. but I was able to fully fulfill the position, fully fulfill the obligations that Kara asked of me, and stay as professional as possible and get these good relationships with these administrators, even though Kara wasn't sitting there beside me.
You bring up a good point, though, and it touches on a question students ask, is that the role of the top floor member in SGA is definitely a 365-day-a-year job. And the student asked specifically, summer is an important time to get stuff planned, to make goals and create things. So they want to know what are your plans for the summer and what type of action plans you will be doing for the summer. So,
Okay. I will be working orientation staff this summer for May and June, but I think that's just a really great opportunity to go ahead and start getting student feedback. Something that I think that I think that the 2020 plan describes it as services regarding the best student experience available. And so obviously the students that are coming in as freshmen, they see you, they're coming to UofL for a reason. And so go ahead and touching on what their expectations are and then working towards that on the summer. We'll continuously have a group of students to bounce back ideas on. And I really consider myself to be a great time manager, involved in a lot of things and do a lot on campus and do a lot outside of campus. And so I think that all of July, obviously this will take first priority, and even within working with students, still definitely be very, very present throughout my summer.
I do plan on being in Louisville over the summer, and I plan on being in the HGA office just like I was all summer last year. It's not something that I came into as a freshman saying, I'm going to get involved in SGA, and I know for a fact this is what I want to do. It's something that I kind of happened upon. And whenever I was put in this position, I realized how important it was and how much of an opportunity I had to really give back to the students. And I know for a fact that if I gain this position, I would give everything I have to it, and I would do everything I have to continue working on these things that me and Kara have been doing that I know for a fact will help the students, like the highlighted safety walkway that we are currently in progress with Larry and the campus police, so that we can provide these incoming students with what they need before they get here, instead of waiting for them to get here and saying, what do you need from us? Well, it's too late, you're already here. I'm going to be ready when they get here.
Another question people ask is that being a member of the top floor,
Yeah, I just wanted to add one little thing. Again, I know that SOS is reputably very time-consuming, but something else, whenever I worked as assistant, I worked really closely with first-year initiatives in terms of Blue Light Safety Walk and some of the different programs that they wanted to put on, and that's another department that we work really closely with during the summer, and so coordinating that cross-programming, and again, just really getting SJ more present on campus is something that I could really be able to work through with this summer as well.
All right. One of the big things, just being on the top floor, you're a face of SGA. That face is sometimes not seen or is seen by students. I guess my first question would be, how would you, as services, reach out to students to inform them about what SGA does? So I'll start off with that question.
Okay, something I think that's really big is just how often you interact with students and the different areas that you do interact. I'm really proud to be very involved on UofL's campus and think that I touch a lot of different areas. And so with that, I've got a lot of different opinions and a lot of different thoughts and ideas coming from a lot of different areas. And so I think that there's no better way to find out what the students are thinking than asking and being in meetings where they're saying, man, why can't SJ do this? Or why isn't SJ doing this? And so I think that being involved on campus is really important with that, and I think that I definitely bring that to the table. And then just, again, always being available. I think that that's really big. Serving in mentor capacities, I know how important that is and how much that means to students. If you're just like, I'm always here for you. If you ever need anything, let me know. And so I think that that availability and involvement is really important in terms of communication and staying in touch with students.
I would agree with that. I think being available for the students is very important. And as services vice president, my door would always be open. I firmly believe in that. I want students to come up to the SGA office and say, hey, what are you working on? This is something that I see a problem in. And I love hearing back from people. I love getting feedback. I love being able to work as a team with people. And the Student Government Association is for the students. Every single student at this university is a part of SGA. And I want to work with the whole University of Louisville as a team, as an SGA, to get done what they need done. And I believe I can do that with respect and very well.
I absolutely agree with Michael. I think that, again, the students in the title for a reason, and basically everything that he just said, I completely agree with. Open door, always being there. that's all I can say. I completely agree.
Two more questions. Next question. When you say those students who claim that Greeks run student government,
I would also say that there are a lot of non-Greeks involved, and we have seen more non-Greeks getting involved. I know that this year there are a lot of non-Greeks involved. In fact, one of our top 4 members, Osiah, is not Greek, and he has a great presence on campus, as well as many of our senators. And I believe that student government is not about Greek. There are a lot of Greek leaders on campus, and there are also a lot of non-Greek leaders on campus. And I believe that we can show that to the students this year and prove to them that we're here for them. We are them. We're not above them. We're not some great higher power. We are the students, and I think we can get that across.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is certainly a challenge in the coming years, and I think that it's a challenge I'm very much willing to take on. I do think having a lot of the connections that I do, and again, serving in mentor roles, that these students are there and they do want to get involved. It's just a matter of more so reaching out. I think that Greek organizations do a great job of really kind of pushing their members out, and so I think that a lot of it comes down to outreach. But I agree with a lot of what Michael was saying. We're all students, and it just comes down to connecting with students and really showing them that there's so many opportunities there and presenting them with opportunities. And so I think that that's definitely a challenge that I would love to work with students in the coming year.
Yeah, we're good.
last question, Serena, first.
Okay.
Serena, what trait in Michael do you think is his best trait to serve this?
It's like a compliment sandwich. I like that we're ending on a positive. I think it's something that really Michael and I both have. I mean, we've worked in this position. He's right now interacting with the students, and he's interacting with the people, with the administration, and he knows what's going on. And so I think that a part of a really great candidate is a well-informed candidate, and I definitely think that he knows his stuff and is very much up to date on everything that's going on with SGA.
I think Serena's big positive is that she is very loquacious. She's very talkative. She can get points across. She can make sure that students are hearing her voice and that their voices are being heard.